Good afternoon and welcome to United TV. It is November 7th, 2025. We are going to have our 2 p.m. sessions. And before we start one of our updates, I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but we are celebrating our 20th anniversary. I was just looking at something else and it says 25th, so I think the AI is wrong. So you guys, you cannot be relying on AI all the time. So we actually had a great week here at United Medical. So this is not just the celebration of the number, but it's also celebration of our core values. And when we look at the things that we have done under United Medical leadership, we know that we are able to have integrity, our partnership, our excellence and innovation, and of course our leadership, which allows us to have a good ownership on what we do and how we actually operate at United Medical. Now I'm gonna have, we have a couple different topics that we are gonna discuss today. And I'm going to have one of my client managers, Alp Shantai, is going to join me. And Alp, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing? Congratulations on the 20th anniversary for the company.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Well, now you are part of this journey as well. So it's great to be able to get to this point. It is one of these... many companies, many startups, they don't make their 7th year. And then the 10 year is another milestone. And then 20 is a really good place to be at. And then I know we are making a lot of meaningful impact in the society we live in, as just more than just doing business, but making it greater for people who actually receives our services. So thank you.
All right. So today our first topic that we have on the agenda is for the government shutdown, which we've also talked about a couple weeks ago. You had another session with our Senator Sarah McBride yesterday about this. So the shutdown is currently on its 23rd day. It's obviously one of the longest in the U.S. history. It began when Congress failed to agree on fiscal year 2026 appropriations. The dispute centers on whether to extend Affordable Care Act premium tax credit subsidies that will expire on December 31st. Right now, about 800,000 federal workers are furloughed, CMS operations are frozen, and food assistance programs are close to suspension. What exactly triggers this shutdown?
So the yesterday's session with Congresswoman Sarah McBride was actually explaining some of the stuff that we are going through today. So one we see is there is a budget stalemate. So what this is that Democrats right now refuse to pass funding without extending Affordable Care Act subsidies, and the Republicans, supported by President Trump, they demand for clean CR, the continuing resolution, which we discussed this 2 weeks ago. Now, right now we are at the shutdown. This is the longest ever in the U.S. history. Now, I was twice wrong with this prediction, and you are one of those people who would know I'm actually pretty dead on with my predictions, but this time it's not working. So it's not working because I think either side, neither side is taking the responsibility. So that's where we are right now.
And how is this affecting ordinary Americans right now?
Well, the impact is going to be more and more visible this month. So one that we know, definitely flights are going to be, I think they're already at the 10%, already taking the heat with this, so that the capacity is reduced by 10%. And there are some cancellations, and there will be some more, unfortunately, things are going to happen, which this morning when I reached out to you with one of the Medicare dual patients, we weren't able to verify patients' insurance because that was after November 1st. And we checked a couple other people to see if this was just a system issue or if it was a patient specific. And I checked two other patients and I was not able to verify their insurance. So now if this is the provider's office who's not able to verify the uh, healthcare coverage for this individual, then what's going to happen is we are going to not be able to see those patients. So it's going to create more and more trouble. I don't know if you checked any other patients after we talked, and um, I don't think it was just a coincidence. So, and immediately what I thought was it was related to the shutdown because this is what we were afraid of. So, this is already also affecting the SNAP and the WIC fundings, and then we are going to see this in some states taking different actions. And but it's already the almost 6 billion for right now. The projection is $6 million weekly impact. That's what we are going to see, and then this is going to have a domino effect, and then I think it's going to go down to other issues that we are going to probably see.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, you're pretty spot on with these predictions, and sometimes you're able to see some of the things faster than regular people can see. So when you called me this morning, I did check a few other patients for a few different other plans, Medicare, HMOs, and Medicaid MCOs, and those ones didn't actually come back through as well. So yeah, it's interesting. Maybe it's a system issue. Maybe it's Friday.
But it can be just for just that group. You are able to check the eligible for commercials.
Yeah,
right?
With no problems.
Or the traditional Medicare, you are able to check. But
And
anything
Medicaid.
that's anything that's outside of that, it's already probably seeing the impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And how does this shutdown connect to the Affordable Care Act subsidy cliff?
So right now, the big issue is Center of Medicare and Medicaid, CMS, closed. So the 2026 rates are not going to be finalized, and subsidies are going to lapse December 31st, and the premiums that people are paying anywhere from 20 to 40%. I think it was in the session that I had with you. It is going to have impact. So that means individuals are going to feel that's 40% increase is a lot. And this is approximately 13 to 15 million people who would be impacted by this, just from the Affordable Care Act side.
Yeah, absolutely. And who's carrying the political risk for this?
So, if you recall, with the conversation with Sarah McBride, I made some comments. So, who's the captain of this ship is the president. President Donald Trump is in charge, and what's happening right now? It looks like it's a dysfunctional government because it's not it doesn't have a budget, so it's not able to function. So the fiscal year is already there, and then so I think right now, at least on the surface, and this so many times I supported President Trump at the least expected times. But on this one, I think he is not looking good. And I think this is going to have longer impact. And then the elections are coming. So one of the nice, maybe check-in in the United States system is we have elections every 2 years. Sometimes there's other elections, just like this mayor election in New York, but every 2 years, that's a checkpoint for us. So if the leading ruling party is doing a good job, they will see the results in that 2-year period. So I think we know with the news election results from last Tuesday, right now it doesn't look good for Republicans. And the part of the issue with the Affordable Care Act, so if you don't have a good like peaceful society, things are going to go bad. So you can't really, yes, I mean, I pay a lot of taxes. I pay the highest rate but I know that it's something that I should be doing it at the level that I am. If it's gonna be, if this is gonna be spent for those who may need to be subsidized. So, last night when we left the office, it was a little bit late, and I did not stop at the red light when I was making a left turn because there was a homeless person at the traffic light, and right behind me was Kim and Donna, and the homeless person approached them. So by not, stopping, I was trying to help them to just move because I was worried that they would not feel safe. So I have a responsibility for that homeless person. So if I demand that that person shouldn't be there, then I need to pay my taxes. And therefore, this should be government should be able to uh, help and facilitate these. We talk about the healthcare system in Turkey, and with these big city hospitals, people are getting extremely good care, and they're not paying hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's where peace comes into the picture. So you have to have a peaceful society. Otherwise, we'll be hiring private security to make sure that our employees are safe at the red light.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And as a leader, as a CEO of a big company, as someone who's very heavily invested in the community, Delaware, doing a lot of charity work, and also very invested in the politics as well, what do you think would end this government shutdown?
So I think they need to have an immediate, like a continuing resolution in place to make sure that this temporary holding, like whatever is happening right now, it can be funded.
Mhm.
So because this will allow us to have some time to have the final resolution. So, but stopping everything is not okay. So we have seen this out in different uh, uh, businesses that we have, different responsibilities that we have. Like when we work with an insurance company, and you have seen this very closely, when we work with some of these insurance companies and we believe that certain things are not right, so we have to fight for our uh, rights. So what that means is that one thing that it doesn't include is I cannot stop talking to them. So when we were under a big audit by one of the big insurance companies, we kept communicating. We provided solutions, any solutions. Anything was better than not doing anything. So right now, nothing is happening, and this is going to have a damage that's going to be impactful for several months while we are trying to um, you know work on the tariffs and work on different businesses to increase the revenue for United States. This is going to have a huge damage. So therefore, they need to have a immediate CR passing. So that's going to probably help for the current picture.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope they reach that resolution soon because people have flights coming up. Thanksgiving is coming up. It would be a big chaos within
Absolutely. So
a
like
couple
right
weeks.
now, I have a flight in December, and I'm worried about not making it.
Mhm.
That's one. The other thing is I have to be there for a certain deadline. So if I don't do it, then I'm gonna be in some uh, difficult situation with the custom in Turkey
Mhm.
because I need to pick up something
Right,
for December 11th.
right.
So I have to be there on December 11th.
Mhm.
So uh, how is that going to happen if I don't make it? So this is already giving me anxiety, and I am hoping that it will be resolved sometime soon. It's just like you know, uh, President Trump is a businessman, and he's a very successful businessman, and he is probably the king of negotiating. And I don't know why he fails on this. So there has to be some CR passing very quickly.
Mhm. It's probably because he's not getting his way. That's why he's failed to negotiate this time. But
Probably not.
yeah. And then our next topic of the day is about the mayor elections in New York that just happened last week. Well, this week. Zohran Mamdani, who got elected. So at only 34 years of age, Mamdani became New York City's youngest and first Muslim mayor, defeating Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Sliva. A progressive backed by grassroots donors, he promises free public transit, rent freezes, and a $30 minimum wage, which is a lot higher than what it is right now. Why is his election considered historic?
So I'm gonna show it, and I apologize in advance. So I didn't show it to you. I didn't know. I didn't let you know that I was gonna do this, but uh, audience can see the picture Ethan is sharing. So, like, tell me who would you vote for? These are your three options. Okay. If you didn't know anything about them, one looks like a freak. The other one is 12 sexual misconduct with the employees, and the other one is a young person. So this was the options that's given to the New Yorkers. So I think the Republicans already give up in New York. So, and I see that similar thing in Delaware because I wasn't able to get um, like maybe one or two Republicans who came to the show. I want them to come to the show, and then we can actually like part of it is when I'm already on a Democrat Party side. It's not sometimes fun to have discussions. So because I want to kind of challenge them, so then I'm not able to challenge them if I'm on the same side. So with the Republicans, I'm hoping that I would have more like a dynamic um, kind of conversation. And now they don't even respond to the emails that we send. Sarah McBride just got a message from me. I think her team got the message on Monday, and we set up the meeting for that live session on Thursday. So Lisa Rochester, she's the same way. So Chris Coons takes 5 minutes to get back to me. And if you look at my donation records, I haven't given any money to Chris Coons for the last 12 years. I was a big supporter in the beginning, but even though I don't have any active donations or like recent donations, he still comes back to me in 10 minutes. Republicans are nowhere to be seen. And that's kind of, um, I'm going to give you some numbers with what we are going to go through with this. It's not like I see that effort is not there. So this this thing is, I don't know if it's historical. To me, at least, it's not. If you ask anyone else, they may have a different opinion. So this guy is a project. He works with the Soros Foundation. Is supported by them. But the funny thing is, there's a great promotional campaign happened, and then he's there. So, but no, I don't see this as a big historical election because this was some Democrats was gonna win that. If he wasn't there, that Cuomo guy, the former governor with 12 um, victims, he was gonna win. So or you put this beautiful United Medical mug, this was gonna win. Doesn't matter. So it's as long as it's Democrat was gonna win. Um, so why would it be historical?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And he also did make some remarks about, I mean, going completely against what President Trump is saying, especially with when it comes to issues like immigration and stuff too. He said New York was built by immigrants and it will be protecting its immigrants today. And you're an immigrant, I'm an immigrant at this country.
I don't have any connection. I don't feel I'm connected in any way to this guy. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. But I was just coming to the challenges that he will face immediately, because he has all these controversial topics that the president of the country does not agree with publicly, and it's pretty obvious too. So, what challenges do you think he will be facing?
So you asked me a question, but I'm gonna ask you a question in return. So when was the last time you were in New York?
Uh, it's when I probably came back from Turkey last time, so
Okay.
a month
So
ago.
I used to own a place in New York. until 2016. And after that, when my nephews visited me, we stayed at Marmara Hotel on 32nd Street, I believe. It's the uh, Park Avenue and 32nd Street. So they were young, and when we were walking on 34th Street, which is one of the major ones, major cross streets. I may have mentioned this maybe before, but I just want people to kind of picture this. So we got some smoothie. So we were thinking I was going to play tennis, and then we were going to go somewhere else from there. So just touristic sightseeing. So we couldn't even breathe because it was so stinky. The smell was so bad that I just I wanted to throw up. Like it was so bad. So and we didn't finish those drinks. And it got worse than that in time. This was maybe maybe right before pandemic, but the other thing is I used to and this may be 2019, right before pandemic, when I went there with my puppy buddy. Uh, he's from here, so he's not used to a lot of these animals being so close to, like, in New York, like even the squirrels, they come really close to you and they get stuff from you, but not in Wilmington, so they will run away from you because they're not used to us. These rats, like this big, they're as big as a cat, like they're everywhere. And then Buddy didn't know what was happening, and then he went after some, and then there was like hundreds of. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not lying about this. I have no reason to lie about this. Hundreds of them. They were just like running everywhere, every direction. So, and then I started doing something recently just to kind of understand what New York City is and the situation that New York looks so beautiful from a distance. But as soon as you start walking, then you see hundreds of homeless people sleeping on the road, like on like sidewalks. I took several pictures just so that because people don't believe these things, they think that we are exaggerating. We are not. So New York is being mismanaged by Democrats for years. Now, when someone is coming and trying to actually give these promises that he's not able to deliver, of course he's going to have so many difficulties, and he's going to immediately face so many obstacles. This is financials, sanity, the housing shortage, and he's just a mayor. So that's why I'm saying that it's a project. He is a mayor, so he doesn't have any uh, responsibilities nationwide or internationally. He's just with zero experience mayor, and then he's not coming from the street. He's coming from a very wealthy family, like almost like Luigi Mangione. Like when he's coming from a billionaire family, and he's trying to represent people without insurance, but his family runs a nursing home, makes millions. So this is a similar situation. This guy is a great project, and he's going to have a lot of difficulties, and we are going to see them in time.
And some critics are also focusing on his identity. Do you think that matters?
That's like this is what I'm not understanding. Of course, I do understand, but what I don't really agree with, why do I care about someone's religion? So, and this guy is like, not every Christian is same, not every Muslim is same, not every Hindu is same. So I don't care if he's Muslim or not, or I don't care if he's Christian or not. We are looking for the qualified person. But when they keep saying that they are X, that tells me that they are trying to communicate with those who are not at the same level that I am, so that they can actually convince those people to support this individual. So if you ask a Sunni Muslim, this guy is not Muslim. I mean, you know the backgrounds, and like Sunni Muslim would take any Christian over a Shia Muslim at any given day. The differences is so big. So when you just label this person as Muslim because that may have some negative impact, this is bad for both sides. What Democrats maybe in this case, or what his campaign is doing. Oh, I'm this. I'm like and he's so many different things. By the way, I mean he's Muslim. He's from South Asia. He's from Africa. He's from. Like, how can you be all those? Like, you know, you were born and raised in Turkey, and after that you lived here, right? So you are not South Asian. So definitely you are not. You probably visited, but you're not. I mean, you can just be everything. So where's your home is who you are. You know, when the identity is labeled so like vague, then I know that there's a problem. So, I don't want to hear someone's religion. I don't want to hear someone's backgrounds. I don't want to hear someone's sexual identity. One of the reasons you would remember this, and because you follow these sessions very closely, Sarah McBride, I worked with her. I'm maybe one of her biggest supporters. We never used the transgender issue as an agenda item. And she would say, I'm not here to talk about that. How many times she said that? Because when you are here, you are going to serve people. You are not going to serve X group or Y group. You are going to serve the society. And that's why I'm not really interested in someone's identity. As long as they are the qualified person, that's all I'm looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I did kind of want to go back on was you did touch on his privileged background, saying that he's coming from a wealthy family. Do you think that weakens his affordability message?
Well, okay, so let me try to answer this in a different way. So, Ethan, I think we can turn this thing off. I don't want to complain about the cold, but I am actually cold. All right, thank you. So since this is a live event, so people know that we are in a studio and don't have a lot of people. There's Ethan as a producer and everything. So let's go back to your question. So, well, he did actually put his message out there, and then people bought his message. So let me give you some numbers. In 2021, total registered voters in this election for New York, it was 4.9 million. And 2025, it went up to 5.1 million. So it's about 192,000 more people. And I'm hoping you didn't actually check the numbers. I mean, knowing you, you probably did, but let's play this. What do you think the turnout rate was for this election?
Especially in New York, I would probably say less than 50%.
Less than 50%. Do you think it's more than 40%?
I'm going to go with like 42%.
All right, so it was 39.9%. So let me also ask you this. Any guess for 2021?
It was probably even less because of COVID, because a lot of the people left the city.
And
probably 30%.
It was 23%. So he was able to bring almost 630,000 more people to vote. But this is also what this is telling you is something else. So what this is telling you is in the United States, you can focus on 40% of the population and become something. You don't need the 100%. Now in Turkey, you cannot do that. There's an 89% turnout, but this is a 39% turnout if he's elected, and that is like the greatest number. When I heard the greatest turnout, like without checking the numbers, I thought he was going to be like 75%. No, it's like 39%. So our governor got the primary with 22%
Turnout.
turnout. 22% turnout, he got the primaries. So 78% of the people, Democrats, didn't go and vote. So that's what I would tell you. So now let's tie this to your question. So he got a lot of people out there and voted, right? So that means his message, his campaign was efficient. Now, one of the things I'm gonna probably just go outside of your questions on this one. One of the things that I want to kind of remind people, this is why I keep saying social media, we have to have accountability and we have to have ownership of that. And you need to have only one out can have Instagram account, Twitter account, and tied into your social security. And the businesses can have only one with tied into their tax ID. Right now, when you have enough money, you can actually have this humongous group of people just promoting you all over the social media. So, did you know who this guy was in May? But we knew who he was even before the election results because he was running this really heavily promoted social media promoted campaign. That's kind of like the danger of social media. So, and then that's why, going back to this picture, that's why I showed you this picture because social media sees this picture. Social media sees this and then say, hey, well, we didn't do this test with Ethan. Ethan, who would you vote for? So, right? I mean, this is your option, and it's like when you put this out there, and this is not special pictures. This is I got it from the campaign, like from the official website. So it's not like they made him better looking and then others bad. Like because this guy actually is not as old as he looks here, but this is the picture that he gave them. And this guy is a sexual predator, so uh, just stay away from him. But it's a really bad picture too. He won. I mean, he won because he got the best social media team out there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. You also did touch on the city's practical needs and what are some of the things that you saw in New York that was wrong years ago and how they should be fixed and how people
well,
don't
not
really
years
see
ago.
that.
We were there together
Well,
in
yeah, I mean, and
September.
every single time too.
I
And
mean,
when
like
I
that.
tell my friends the same
This is a
things.
5-star hotel that we were there, and then the next door was a soup kitchen. Was it right?
Yeah, it was
The
like some
next
sort
door,
of shelter or
right?
something.
And then there was a huge line,
Mhm.
and 3 years in a row, same place, so it didn't change.
Mhm.
And we, we weren't sure if we were going to be the car was going to be safe on the street.
Right. Yeah.
So
And people don't believe,
well,
especially like my friends in Turkey.
yeah,
What
they don't. I
they
mean,
think about New York, they're like it's this magical place.
because it looks beautiful from a distance.
It is still beautiful. I agree with that too.
Nighttime,
But
daytime is beautiful.
yeah.
But then when you go in,
Mhm.
things are not as it used to be. Like, I used to love New York, so but now I don't necessarily feel comfortable and safe.
Mhm.
So, and this is happening in other parts of the United States with the big cities.
Mhm. Yeah. So how do you think he should be balancing his progressive ideals with the city's practical needs to attack some of those issues that we just talked about?
So, I think again, I'm gonna probably say this again. This is a project uh, brought to you by Soros Foundation. So we'll see a miserable New York, and I think it's going to be worse than what it is today. He has no qualification, no experience. So, and to be honest, like when people didn't have any alternatives, they thought this was the safe harbor for those who were looking to vote. And I think we are expect. I mean, I think I'm going to stay away from New York for a while.
Mhm.
So he's going to have a lot of these issues, and we are going to see them all together, and then we'll be covering them in the session.
Mhm. Yeah, and we'll always refer back to this video as well, as you always do. Um, So, what lesson does this election hold for national politics? You already talked
keep
about.
keep a good regulation of social media. So social media uh, is the greatest tool.
Mhm.
So let me give you an like real time. X change its algorithm. So if you're not promoting something, nothing is gonna go. Okay. So let me actually give you couple things. So like even with um, like Sarah McBride event I posted, no promotion. It got only 43 impressions. So because X is looking for promotions and they need money, and if you are not putting dollars on advertisements with X, you are not going to be seen. This used to be very different. This used to be when I post something without the promotions, it would get, you know, easily 5, 6, 700 impressions. And now it's not happening. And then what I know is several influencers are actually complaining about this change on the algorithm. So what does that? What does this tell you? Is that this is, you know, okay. So here's the one that I promoted with the this Nobel Peace Prize. It got 16,000 impressions. Same account. Okay, so that was just a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
16,000 versus 43. That was probably $50 for promotion. And now, if you have money, you are going to be able to promote yourself.
Mhm.
If you are running for election, um, you are going to use this. So you have to keep a good control. When I say control, the accountability I'm talking about. Like right now, we are accountable with everything. Like right now, as a person here, a real person in front of everyone, I'm reliable and accountable for what I say. But then I go back and you don't see me, you don't know who I am, and I put a lot of crazy things out there, and I am able to get promotions for those, and then my idea is out there without me being reliable. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be um, like real news. It doesn't have to be real. It can be. You know, we can try. We can try. You know, just as a test trial. So we'll just put some crazy things out there, and then we'll promote it, and then you'll see how much impressions it gets.
Mhm.
So as long as you don't go after Elon Musk on the promotions, it's approved.
Yeah.
So this is the lesson that needs to be learned. Is with this also it's tying us into young people. So young people cannot be ignored.
Mhm.
So you know, like 71-year-old, 72-year-old, 79-year-old running for these positions, and they are they are out of uh, their mind thinking that they are able to relate to these young people. So if I'm able to convince these young people, then I'm in charge. So this is the lesson that needs to be learned from this, and you really need to have a good policy over social media.
Mhm.
So then at least people would be reliable for what they are doing out there.
Yeah, and I think this actually needs to be preached harder. I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing this idea from you. I usually agree with majority of the things that you say, but this is actually very important. For example, when I was just in Turkey, I was sharing the YouTube Premium account with my family, my dad's account,
Mhm.
and YouTube all of a sudden kicked me out saying you don't live in this household. Now, how does YouTube know that? But then when you have 16 different X accounts from the
Mhm.
same households,
Right,
how does X not know that, only one of them is truly your account and the other 15 are being used to like promote certain things
right, right,
and
right.
reach on these things? It's very easy to detect these things these days.
That's how it
Uh,
is.
and like Medicare portal, for example, all of our managers here in the US office, we had to use our own social security numbers to open an account to
Mhm.
check on patients' benefits
Because they want us to be reliable
and
and
accountable.
responsible and accountable,
Yeah.
right?
Why can't we do the same thing for social media?
That's what I'm saying. And this is not This is no way that it's actually controlling government is controlling you. It's just for the social piece. You need this because if I just shoot from my car all open and I'm not visible, and people are dying, and I have no consequences.
Mhm.
That's social media.
Mhm.
So it actually damages more than the guns because it's in front of you. It just gives you something that it's not true and it's not real and it's not as big as is being promoted. So, but no one is reliable. So it's a bot account. So then there's millions if you have enough money. Well, I have like 7 different YouTube accounts. I don't use them as much anymore because in the beginning we needed more, likes and stuff. But now we are close to 200,000 subscribers. It's not, but I did use it.
Mhm.
But why? Right?
Right.
That should be like I've been telling Sarah McBride about this. I told Kyle Lemsgay when she was here, our lieutenant governor, and I'm talking to our other state officials, elected officials, act on it because it's going to be too late if it's not being controlled.
Mhm.
Because AI is already taking over, and once AI is independent, then good luck.
Gonna get even worse. Yeah. Our final topic of the day. We will be talking about the state that we are currently in, Delaware, and the state of emergency for SNAP benefits. A little bit of background about this. Because the federal shutdown threatens USDA reimbursements, Delaware declared a state of emergency to protect about 200,000 residents relying on SNAP and WIC. The declaration authorizes state funds and rapid response measures. What prompted this emergency declaration?
So, well, it's going back to the shutdown. So, this is with the federal funds being frozen. Right now, some of those require those funds are not happening. So then, state decided to fund these so then people would have uninterrupted benefits. So um, there are more issues with this one, but I'll let you answer your questions.
Yeah. And how do you think this is affecting families directly right now?
So, well, in the term, it does guarantee for the food assistance, and some of the benefit cuts. It's helping, but I think the issue we always need to see is long term, what's doable and what's not.
Mhm.
Is the state of Delaware capable of doing this financially? And that's kind of like what I see here.
Mhm. Yeah, and Delaware is taking the initiative on this. Do you think other states could also follow Delaware's lead?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be successful in Delaware. So yes, maybe it's a patch for a very short term, but it will have long consequences. Because if you don't have something and if you are spending that, or if you are promising that, where's that money coming from? Matt Meyer is not putting his own money, or even for his own campaign, he has to borrow money, right? He put a loan for his own, but who's gonna, get the funds for this? That's kind of like what I see with this one. So, if it's going to be an example, well, there will be some states will be doing this. But if I were in charge, I would probably not do it because I know that financial responsibility, the budget, and what I'm capable of doing is there. So then I would just wait and put the effort on resolution rather than trying to create another trouble
Mhm.
at the state level. So, I think Matt Meyer is biting more than what he can chew.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, obviously you're a businessman too, so you know the financials and all the other aspects of this that goes behind it a little bit better than regular people. But it's also a very sensitive subject too. I mean, it's about food
Well,
security.
sensitiveness is like what I'm able to do,
Mhm.
right? So I'm able to do X, so I need to do that. But this is something that I wasn't able to fund before. This is funded by the federal government.
Mhm.
So if I'm able to step in and then just help with this situation for the time being, And if things don't go through properly, who's going to be responsible for that? You and I and everyone else.
Mhm.
So you are making this decision on our behalf. And what I'm saying is, what's the rush? Now, our governor, unfortunately, he loves the spotlight. And, when Elon Musk left Delaware, if he was able to show the compassion that time, so then instead of fighting him on a national TV, remember the Elon who,
Mhm.
like, dumbass. So then we would maybe have some more funds available, but now we lose businesses to Texas
Mhm.
and some of the other southern states. So he should be focusing on those. This is something that we cannot afford. So it needs to stay with the state limits, and then let the big boys, federal governments, both Republicans and Democrats, decide what needs to happen for them, so then the state can follow. But this is kind of creating another urgency in my opinion. It's just like too popular. Like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a hero. Well, no, you don't have that. You cannot be a hero by spending someone else's resources or the resources that you don't have.
Mhm.
I mean, people won't buy that.
Yeah. And what is the broader message that this issue is sending?
Well, we mentioned earlier in the other part there, the continuing resolution is a must. All the effort needs to be put into that, so then we still have a running government while parties are negotiating and making their points. When you are negotiating, there has to be compromises. Now, I am very clear on this one. The affordable care is important for the Americans. So if this is on the table as a negotiation, uh, you know, element by the Republicans, that they should really not do that, because this is going to get them lose the election in 2026. Because people do need Affordable Care Act in order to afford uh, the medical insurance. So even with the companies, we are having difficulties these days to make sure that we are in control of the increases. And just this year, we got another increase from our insurance for our employees. So when you take this at the state level and everywhere else, people are suffering. They will suffer. So then this will have a domino effect, and there will be more lessons to learn, I guess, at the end of it.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much all we had for today. Do
All
you have anything
right.
else to add?
So we are going to follow up with Bariatric Friday with this. And Dr. Gail Wynn is going to join me. I'm sure she's in the office somewhere. So we'll be starting in 10 weeks, 10 minutes. My numbers and my units are not happening. 10 minutes. So um, our goal is to bring objective and real news and updates related to healthcare, number one, and economy and the politics. So everything that we are saying here, well, Alp is just asking questions, so he didn't have put his opinion, so I don't need to say this for him. But for me, these are not representing United Medical, but these are my personal opinions, and it's separate from what our company does. So this is just my own. So we are hoping to see you next week with Jessica Needles. Jessica and I, we are going to continue having the discussion on the AI and the copyright issues. So she has some good updates for me. She just messaged me yesterday, and she's doing more research on the copyright issue. And I think she's going to dispute the song that I wrote. So we'll see what's going to happen. Hopefully, she won't take that away. But we'll be back with her on the 14th, and we'll see you soon with Bariatric Friday. Well, until then, stay united. Thank you. Bye bye.